Okay, Mom, she's come. That's why I got busy and not for my.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 102nd International Women's Day celebration at the Nehru Centre in association with United Kingdom Telugu Association. I'm Mamta Siram and I'm your host for this evening. I would like to kickstart the program by an invocation. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The meaning of this prayer means, I pray to God to protect us all, nourish us all, and help us work together with energy and vigor. I pray to God to make our study enlightening, not giving rise to hostility, and to give us peace, peace, and peace. I would now like to call upon the stage Ms.Geetha Kaza, ex-Senior State Bank of India officer, specialized in gender studies, who will introduce today's topic of discussion and the speakers. Ms.Geetha Kaza.
Good evening, friends. Before I start, I would like to request Ms.Sangeeta Bahadur to come on stage and inaugurate this program officially. We are very grateful to her for giving us this space. She is the director of Nehru Centre. She is also the writer of a wonderful book called Jal. I would call it magical fantasy, and it's a part of a trilogy called Kal. And I was totally fascinated with that book, but unfortunately I haven't completed it because it's so slow going because of the small prints these days. Ms. Sangeeta Bahadur, please.
Thank you, Geetha ji, for that free publicity. I really do appreciate it. If any of you are curious now, please pick up a copy from my office. I would like to begin the evening by welcoming all of you to this very special event, which is in celebration of Women's Day, which happens to be today itself. First of all, to all the ladies in the audience, a very happy Women's Day. As most of you would be aware, this is something that is celebrated in the Nehru Centre every year. Not just for one day, but for an entire fortnight. So each year, for 2 weeks in March, we celebrate women and their achievements, and we discuss issues that are of concern to them, that bother them, that energize them through their lives as they go on. And today is especially important because today, first of all, it is Women's Day itself, and therefore the most special event of this fortnight. And secondly, because UKTA is an organization with whom we've been working for a long time. Even last year on Women's Day, we celebrated the event with a program that we had coordinated along with them. Today, of course, there is a panel discussion that is going to happen here. The topic is, of course, extremely interesting. It is called Men and Women, What They Say and What They Mean. Many of you would recall that there is a very famous book called Women Are From Venus, Men Are From Mars. And I presume that the discussions today will probably follow along the lines of that very interesting book. I'm sure Geetha ji will be able to give you a lot of details about what exactly and who exactly and along what lines the discussions today will follow. So I'll leave the stage to her. And well, once again, a very warm welcome and a happy Women's Day.
Thank you, Sangeeta ji. I want to start with a small, not an invocation, But Bible starts, in the beginning there was the Word. So words mean everything to us. And if you think of the word has to have a meaning. And then we go to a great Sanskrit poet of India called Kalidasa. Kalidasa says, Vagartaviva sampritto vagarta pratipattaye. That is, the masculine and the feminine principle are entwined like the word and the meaning, and represent the word and the meaning. But is it really so? When we think about it, does the word have different meanings for different people? Is there really a gender difference? Just before I think all of you came in, they were showing parts of a movie called English. I don't know how many of you have seen it. There is one scene there which is very interesting, where the wife, she's a very expert in making laddus. So she makes the laddus, somehow they get destroyed, so she makes laddus again and everybody is sort of pitying her, saying, oh God, she has to make it again. So the husband says, oh, she was born to make laddus, and he means it as a compliment. And the wife, played by Sridevi, resents it totally, because she doesn't believe she was only born to make laddus. We come across this all the time. Like I keep quoting the favorite example. The husband comes home, the wife says, I have a headache. The husband says immediately, take a paracetamol. Oh, you don't go for walks, you don't get fresh air. Actually, the wife doesn't mean she has a headache. What she says is, please stop watching the TV or reading the newspaper and talk to me. This is where the inflections, the emotions are totally different. And then when we started working on this, we started wondering who are the people who deal with words. Basically, there are 4 kinds of people, if you look at it. The politicians, the writers, the lawyers and the teachers. Unfortunately, Ms. Baroness Verma would agree to come, could not make it at the last minute. So we are without a politician. We have writers, we have teachers. And when we think about it, we said we should go a little further away. And we have a banker. Why a banker? If you really look at it, I was really thinking about it. Bankers may not be very voluble or they are fairly reticent. But they are fantastic at creating new words or giving new meaning to words. Like till the bankers came, we all thought derivatives were what was derived in organic chemistry. Or a word like subprime. It required the bankers to coin it at all. So we have a banker here from us, Mr.Mahapatra, who is the CEO of State Bank of India in London, who I think reads 2 books or 3 books at a time. And he's a physicist who joined State Bank of India much earlier, before physicists started joining banks and earning in millions. I request Mr. Mahapatra to come on stage. And welcome him to the program. Then we have a teacher or a professor. When I was thinking about it, I thought of the song, Jaane kya tune kahi, jaane kya maine suni, baatein kuch bani gayi. So you say something, you hear something, and then something happens. And a person who could explain to us even much better than all of us is here, Professor Francisca Orsini from SOAS. She is a professor of Hindi and Urdu literature. She's from Italy basically, but I think she knows much better Hindi than all of us. She's a reader of Hindi at SOAS. Please, Dr. Orsini. There's a recent Telugu movie called Adavari Matlike Attalu Vere. The words women speak have a different meaning. And while I was reading a book about Vizag, about people in Vizag, this came to me very beautifully. There are 2 characters there, Mr. and Mrs. Ali. In fact, I've fallen in love with Mrs. Ali. And every time there's a conversation between them, you realize how different they are approaching the subject. And the creator of this is Mr. Farhad Zama, who is from Vizag. He is also a banker, incidentally, but I think I'd rather think of him as a writer. And he lives in London, but as he himself has dedicated one of his books, his head lives in London, but his heart abides in Vizag. Mr. Farhad Zama, please. one sentence I found it very fun, very endearing in his book. Mr. Ali thinks of himself as brave, but Mrs. Ali thinks he is naively foolish. While I was traveling in India by train, there was this young couple traveling with me, and they were listening to a song. All of us know the song. It's a very famous Amitabh Bachchan song. Kabhi kabhi mere dil mein khayal aata hai. And then this boy was saying how romantic it is. The girl got absolutely violent. She said, "What do you mean romantic? Tujhe zameen pe bulaya hai mere liye? I have no other business but to be your property." It suddenly struck me, the younger generation. You know, all of us thought this song was a very romantic Amitabh Bachchan song. But then this girl suddenly got violent about it. She said, "What is this? It's object." She went into real fight with him, you know. I suddenly realized the younger generation has a different view of what we think as very romantic and what we think as romantic language. So we have our young friend from Imperial College here, Kameshwari. Kameshwari teaches mathematics. And we don't expect mathematicians to be very, what shall I say, wordy. But Kameshwari is, she herself agrees. And she also is doing research in applied mathematics, which is a bit scary. And she's originally from Andhra, now from Chennai. Did her master's in there, and she's now with Imperial College Commission. How do we start? We start with Mr. Mahapatra.
Okay.
Would you like to say something? Yeah. Is there a mic there?
Yeah, mic is here, but
You would like to come here? Yeah,
so
please.
you can sit here.
No, it's okay. I have a chair.
Or please be there. Please go. Anyway, whoever vacates, you can. Thank you. Good evening, and I must add my compliments and my wishes to all of you for the International Women's Day. Office bearers of UK Telugu Association and my other co-panelists on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. Now, coming back to today's topic of discussion, because Ma'am Kaza has given such a brilliant introduction to all of us, it may be very difficult to kind of go up to that level. I'm sure other panelists will agree with me. But coming back to the topic proper, what men and women say and what they do, I think something like that is the topic. So, when I was thinking during the last 2 days that what should I speak, first thing came to my mind was that what exactly the intention of the organizers. Always they think that there is a kind of dichotomy between the two. That all of us, to an extent, are not what we say and we do something different. And I do not know, the word women is nearer to the active phrase, which is what they think and what they do. So I thought that let me limit myself, because dealing with such a great universe in such a limited period of time may be a little difficult. So I thought let me first think about what women say and what they actually do. And Mrs. Kaza told that probably the example of the headache. A headache means I need attention. So I explored it a little further and I found that probably there are too many things from personal experience and from written literature which is there to say how there is a great deal of difference between what they say and what they do. So I thought first concentrate on women. Then going forward, I thought for this audience, I will concentrate on what women bosses think and what women bosses do. Because I think 2 days back on this very hall, there was a discussion on why women are not able to reach the so-called C-suite. or why there are so many vacancies in the board level positions where women are unable to go there. There are X number of factors which have been discussed, debated. But my experience is drawn from 2 or 3 things. One, in State Bank of India, I had the good privilege of working under maybe half a dozen bosses. Some of them have gone to very high position. And in my various roles all over the globe, I have come across women who are at top positions and who have a way of doing things which can be probably put before this audience to say that whether there is a difference between what women say and what women do. I will limit myself because there are other audience and other panelists who are here to say. First thing is that, the so-called the directness quotient. Men think that they are very direct. They come straight to the point. They don't beat around the bush. And as a result, the downside of it is that probably men are accused of being blunt, being heartless, being non-compassionate, and so on and so forth. And women, on the contrary, the male chauvinists feel that women take a lot of time, they beat around the bush, they take probably 50 minutes where 5 is enough. And the positive side, what is told is that probably women are more collaborative. They try to win over people rather than ramming themselves into the skulls of unsuspicious characters, so on and so forth. Now, what is the actual situation? I have watched a lot of women bosses and women at the top. The real situation is as follows. Yes, there is truth in both of it. When a lady says that I am collaborative, my conclusion is that the total level of entropy or the disturbance, as we call entropy, is a word for those of you who understand a little bit of physics, is the overall amount of disturbance is probably higher when a lady boss is concerned. Forgive me, those ladies, but I want to provocate you a little to think. Generally, lady bosses, when they mean to say that I don't want to create a storm in the office, but these little doses of storm are injected into the all over the place. So probably if there is a male boss who thinks it's too private a matter to discuss and too little is there to be said anymore, this could, in case of a woman, this could go on for a longer time to a larger number of people. So my hypothesis is that when women say that we are collaborative, when it comes to a negative side of the thing,